What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today is all about Samsung. Yes, the Z Fold 6 will be released this year. I have the latest gossip, rumours, leaks, specs, all the stuff you want to know about the Z Fold 6, keeping in mind that I fairly despise the Z Fold 5. Let's go. So to keep it simple, this video will be separated into three parts. Things the Z Fold 6 didn't need to improve, things the Z Fold 6 needed to improve and are, and things the Z Fold 6 needed to improve and aren't. So first up, the things they really didn't need to improve. In my opinion, Samsung's One UI software is the best Android skin, bar none. It's not even close if we're being honest with ourselves. And with the Z Fold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they all had fantastic multitasking, software integration, quick share, all that good stuff. However, this year, with the same AI integration that my daily driver S24 Ultra has, I firmly believe that the Samsung Z Fold 6 software is going to take it to another highest level. So they didn't need to change that. And sticking with internals, the chipset. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy will be absolutely class-leading, fantastic, efficient. It'll have all the good points that the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon chips bring. So they didn't need to change that. And yes, I know they are technically changing it from Android 13 to 14 and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 to the 8 Gen 3. But what I'm meaning is they didn't need to take a drastic change. They're just upgrading from the previous version. And that kind of covers everything that they didn't need to change. Now let's talk about all the things, according to the leaks and rumours, that they needed to change, and it looks like they have. The number one elephant in the room, you know what I'm going to say, the outer display. The outer display aspect ratio that has burdened the Z Fold lineup for years is finally changing to a more conventional cover display size. Rumours are that it'll move from its tiny thin form factor to a 6.3 inch diagonal, more in line with the OnePlus Open. Hallelujah. We can finally have a functional cover display that doesn't constantly mean we're moving to the inner display. And yes, I know some of you are going to say, but it's a foldable, the whole point is you unfold it. No, there are a lot of scenarios throughout your working day or your normal day-to-day life where you don't want to unfold the device. You just want to reply to a quick message or do some social media scrolling or view some content on the outer screen. And the Z Fold 3, 4 and 5 outer screen just didn't cut the mustard. Now, sticking with sizes, the overall phone thickness and weight had to change, and it is. The phone is getting a near 10% decrease in weight. Yes, the Z Fold 5 was a fairly thick and heavy beast, but now with the Z Fold 6, we're looking at under 240 grams, and we're also looking at 12 millimeters thick folded. Now, while that's not groundbreaking, it's nearly 1.5 millimeters thinner than the Z Fold 5, so I praise Samsung for that. Now, as far as more things that they needed to change and have, really not much else. There's a couple of big ones that they needed to change, and it looks like they're not. So let's talk about that. For me, a large format foldable phone needs to have a battery to power it. And 4,400 milliamp hours is simply not enough. And on that matter, 25 watts wired charging is just not enough. And unfortunately, that's the way it's staying. Yes, 4400 milliamp hour battery, 25 watts wired charging on the Z Fold 6. Very disappointing. Totally like Samsung, but still very disappointing. And then another absolutely key area of certainly my smartphone is the cameras. And they're not changing. And I mean this in the literal sense, not small upgrades, not a slight change of lenses. From what I am hearing, the Z Fold 5's camera setup will just be placed on the Z Fold 6. Again, not surprised because Samsung do that with the Z Fold and it pisses me off every year, but that's the way it is. And the other thing that I really hoped they would change was the S Pen. And by change the S Pen, all I'm asking for is integration within the phone itself. They can get an S Pen in the S24 Ultra. And it is almost literally half the phone the Z Fold 6 is going to be. So how in the blue hell can they not get an S Pen in their foldable device? Makes no sense. Now, you'll tell from the title and from the thumbnail, there's a slight caveat to everything I've just mentioned. While that was the Z Fold 6, there are strong rumours from Android Authority and OnLeakers and many other reputable sources that this year we'll see the first ever Z Fold Ultra. Yes, the Z Fold 6 Ultra will potentially have a bigger battery, better cameras, S Pen integration, bigger screens. None of this has been verified though, so I am not making a video on this as of yet. I am just saying that it looks very, very likely that we will be getting two Z Fold phones this year. The 6 itself will be same price as Z Fold 5, £1,750, but it does have those upgrades I mentioned along with the same things I mentioned. The Z Fold 6 Ultra will be £2,000 plus, but it should upgrade in many more areas. And that's the one I am most excited for. Purely because the only thing holding Samsung back is the hardware. And for all these manufacturers, it seems like hardware is actually pretty easy to get right. From the Honor V2 to the Xiaomi Mix Fold 3 and the Huawei, and all of these devices have the hardware kind of nailed, but they struggle with software. So for me, Samsung have the hardest part nailed. That's the software, that's the multitasking, the integration, all of that functionality that we look for in everyday ease of use. Samsung have nailed that. So for me, a company like Samsung getting that right hardware-wise should be straightforward. The one thing I will say is, along with the leaks of the Z Fold 6 Ultra, is the potential fact that this will be a limited South Korean release. But I personally don't let that hold me back, because I know WONDA Mobile, Gizstop, Trinity Electronics will all have it available to import. So if you are looking to import any Chinese phone and you've got any questions, please check out my videos on setups or leave a comment down below. It's easy to do and very straightforward when you get the device. So there we have it, my update on the latest Samsung Z Fold phone. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I know already from previous videos that a lot of you are holding out for the Z Fold 6. You're not interested by the global Mix Fold 4 or the Magic V3 or anything else. You just want to see Samsung get the hardware right. And believe it or not, I also just want to see them get it right. I am sick and tired of having to rant about the laziness of Samsung when it pertains to their foldable phones. So If you've enjoyed this video and you want to stay up to date with the latest on all things foldable, Chinese or global, please smash subscribe. We just surpassed 21,000 subscribers, which is a just mind-blowing number for someone like me. So I appreciate y'all. And until next time.